Hey everyone, this is the breakdown presented to you and powered by Sports News Stream, where we break down and talk about all current subjects within sports, current and past. That being said, let's get into the show. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. James Harden, according to several sources within the NBA and a lot of reports, is basically planning on signing with the Houston Rockets during the offseason, during the summer. If you're a Philadelphia 76ers fan, like I am, you're not surprised. This was a bad idea, in my opinion, from the very beginning. James Harden has been about James Harden since he basically broke out on his own. It's not shocking that he's going back to Houston. He has family in Houston. He has property in Houston. He has businesses in Houston. He loves the nightlife. He loves the clubs. So it's not shocking. What's shocking to me is him squandering away an opportunity to get a ring at the end of the day. That's the bottom line. You have, arguably, at the very least, the second best center in the NBA. At the very least. MVP. Runner-up 2 years in a row. Prior to that. Scoring champion for the last 2 seasons. Which helped you become you grabbed the assist champion, the assist title. And you're going to go ahead and squander that away so you can have control to do what you want to do on the floor. Right. Stat pad, playground crossovers, I guess trying to cross the dude over, making a couple of 3-pointers, getting the crowd hyped. And more importantly, let's not forget that good old basketball entrance walk where you get to show off your latest and greatest, I don't know what to call them. Let's just call them costumes. Yeah. Basically that. But James Harden doesn't want to win. He wants to get paid. And you can tell. Because when the big moments in the playoffs, when it's time for that to count, he's MIA. Now, if we're talking about some miscellaneous game where he's playing some below 500 team, a Charlotte or Washington, hey, he's having historic numbers. He's having a historic night. But when it's time to step up in the Game 7 of an Eastern Conference semifinal playoff game, Game 7 in Boston, you produce 9 points. 9. Let that sink in for a second. 9. Now, let's not get it twisted. Joel Embiid stunk it up too. He definitely did. However, somebody got to step up. Hell, James, this is what you were brought here for. We already know Embiid's going to get double teamed. He's going to kick it out. The individual he kicks it out to has to make that shot. The individual he should kick it out to is you. And you didn't show up. Where did the Sixers go from here? Let's break that down. Where did the Sixers go from here? They're in a situation. Gave up about 3 players in the first round pick to get James Harden. And then within that transaction, you lost another pick. Now, James Harden is talking about going somewhere else, going to Houston. You can't even do a sign and trade. because Houston has enough money to sign him outright. So that's out the window. And even if you were going to do a sign and trade, what were you getting from Houston that was going to help you at least stay within contention? Yeah. So James Harden leaves. Okay, hopefully Tyrese Maxey can step up and fill that role. I believe he can. I'm confident in that. So I'm really not mad or upset James Harden leaving. I believe Tyrese Maxey can step up and fill that void. But the Sixers are going to still need scoring. All right? Who do they have now? Tobias Harris? He's proven that he's not that guy. I like his game, just don't like the contract. If he was getting about $20 million a year, I'd keep him. He's in the excess north of 30 something million dollars a year, 32, $33 million a year. No thanks. I'll pass. PJ Tucker, you keep him because he presents that veteran leadership and he's a goon on the floor. You need that. I felt Doc Rivers should have used a little bit more of Montrell, a little bit more of Paul Reed. Those two individuals I think you keep as well. Shake Milton, I'd keep. Middleton, I'd keep. Springer, I keep. Rest of those guys, it's all up for debate. Nang, maybe. He wants to come back. Yeah, sure, why not? But is that going to be enough to keep Joel Embiid? That's the problem. Now, according to reports, Nick Nurse, former coach of the Toronto Raptors, has started interviewing for the head coach position for the Sixers. I'm not mad at that. He's not too old and he's not too young. He's right in the middle. He's got a ring. And during that historic run for the Toronto Raptors, for them obtaining that championship, he was able to, at the very least, minimize Joel Embiid. He's a great defensive coach. And I think that could be an interesting piece to help these Sixers out. Let's say the Philadelphia 76ers decided to hire Nick Nurse. Well, Siakam, power forward for the Toronto Raptors. A lot of trade talks have been swirling around his name. As a matter of fact, Bleachers Report actually came up with a scenario that would have Siakam coming to Philadelphia. In return, Philadelphia would pretty much give up a few players, and their picks for 2027 and I believe 2029. Now, let's keep in mind Siakam and Joel Embiid are both from the same country. So that could be a persuading factor for both players, Embiid and Siakam. Philadelphia will receive Pascal Siakam. Toronto, in return, will receive Tobias Harris, Jalen McDaniels, the 2029 first round pick, the 2024 second round pick, Vila, New York Knicks, and the 2027 second round pick. Now, with that being said, as far as assets and picks for the foreseeable future, the Sixers would have nothing. However, they would have possibly a 1, 2, 3 punch that would arguably be able to rival anybody. Siakam is a great two-way player. He's decent at the three-point line. He's definitely got a mid-range shot, and he finished strong at the rim. And he can play defense on the other end. I think him and Embiid would work excellent together. This kid's got good ball handling skill. And I think him and Embiid would mesh well. The pick and rolls with Maxey would be crazy. You still have that effectiveness as far as the toughness with PJ Tucker on the floor. You add Milton as your point guard. Maxi could play the two. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can flip this if you decided to go ahead and pull the trigger on that trade. I think that is probably the best route for the Sixers right now. What else? What else can Dame ain't coming? Maybe a Julius Randle, but they're going to have to do something. They have to replace Harden's point output. They're going to have to try to keep Joel Embiid happy because check this out: James Harden leaves, right? Tobias Harris get traded, right? Free agency's already thin. You're basically going through a rebuilding stage at that point, or at least a reconstruction project. You think Joel Embiid wants to sit around at 29 in the middle of his prime talking about some rebuild or reconstruction or anything of that nature? He's in the win now mode. And it looked like y'all may have dropped the ball. Daryl Morey's going to really earn his paycheck on this one. Daryl Morey wants Harden back. Harden doesn't want to come back. So you can forget that. So you need to move on. In my opinion, here's what you do. The breakdown. You grab Nick Nurse. Hopefully Nick Nurse has a little bit of or enough relationship with Siakam and the Toronto Raptors front office to go ahead and execute a trade where Siakam would come to Philly and the Sixers would send whatever they need to send over there to Toronto, except Maxey. Yeah. And I would like to keep Paul Reed. Rest of them guys, and I would like to keep Springer. Rest of them guys, man, work it out. Figure it out. Tobias and whoever. Okay? I keep Tucker, keep PJ, keep Montrell, because you need that physicality. Keep that. Other than that, man, I'd send whatever over to Toronto to get Siakam because Toronto wants to go ahead and trade him anyway. Okay, the Sixers by freeing up some cap space, getting rid of Tobias, you're going to free up some money. Okay, not getting hard in that contract. Him opting out, you got money there. Because you're going to need money to sign Tyrese Maxey eventually, and he's going to get the max. And in a couple of years, Joel Embiid is going to come up on the contract. So you got to figure out what you're going to do with him. It's going to be a very interesting offseason. Sixers definitely put themselves in a position that I consider not a good spot at all. It's definitely not advantageous for them. I don't know how. This is the only way I could see the Sixers getting out of this. Keeping the season tickets holders happy, keeping the city happy, and still remaining at the very least in the position they're in to compete. Because Boston, ladies and gentlemen, is on the downslide. And that's another thing they may be able to look at. Maybe a Jaylen Brown. They can't keep both. Boston can't keep both. Both of these guys are up on contracts, and they're going to be looking at north of $250 million apiece, respectively. And they're not producing at the level that warrants those type of contracts. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Sixers can maybe even say if Siakam doesn't work, see if we can do a Jaylen Brown. Or let's get creative. Let's see if we can do both. The Sixers need to make a splash and make a strong statement. If not, I see Embiid getting traded. I see Embiid asking for a trade. No doubt about it. I would. Why stay? And it becomes Maxey's team, and you build around Maxey. He's young enough for the process, and he'll have the energy. It's just going to be a long process. Well, that's all I got for right now. Hey, don't forget to hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button so you can get all of the latest and greatest when it comes to the breakdown in this podcast. Definitely appreciate all the love and support. We're definitely trying to get this channel monetized. So we're definitely going to need your help to go ahead and help us reach that goal. But in order for that to happen, we got to keep bringing you the hot content and the topics that you want to hear. Leave a like or a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Is it over for the Sixers, or am I reaching? Is this trade feasible? Do you like who the Sixers are trying to grab as a coach? You think it should be Monty Williams? You should think it should be team favorite Sam Cassell? I don't know. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think. And until next time.